In last Sunday's video, we saw a bunch of quality of life changes coming to Rust, and the trend continues this week over on staging. High external walls and gates will be upgradable, the car radio is over on the main branch, as well as the ice sculpture, which has had a bunch of changes. The player vending machine admin panel has been completely reworked, and it looks like the underwater visibility has finally been fixed. And today's update video is brought to you by thatprints.co.uk. And we've got a 10% discount code for you for this holiday season, and act fast because if you want to get your orders before Christmas, international shipping has until the 6th of December and UK shippers have until the 20th. There's some pretty big changes coming to the high external gates and walls. The first thing you'll notice is after placing them down, you can right click on them now and you'll have the option to upgrade them if they're wood, or demolish them or cancel the wheel. There's also been some changes to the crafting costs of these externals. The high external stone gate now costs 3,000 stone, 3 gears, and 1 sheet metal. The wall requires 4,000 stone and 1 sheet metal and will give you 3 at a time instead of 1. The high external wooden gate now costs 3,000 wood and 2 gears, and then the high external wooden wall costs 4,000 wood and gives you 3 at a time. And as long as you have the blueprints learned, you can walk up to the high external wooden wall and gate and you will be able to right click on it to upgrade it. And on top of that, if you have the stone gate and wall in your inventory, it will replace the resources instead when upgrading. Over in the controls setting, you'll notice that there's an increase and decrease zoom set by default to page up and page down, and the 16 times scope will now give you the ability to zoom in like the binoculars. And this keybind will also work on the binoculars if you don't like clicking to zoom in on it. There's been a change to the Dropbox input side, and now you'll have the option to drop in 4 things at once, and the bug where items would glitch into the input from the output side should also be fixed. There's been a new command added for admins that allows you to go invisible, which is super useful. Now you don't need the plugin anymore once this gets pushed out. And a cool feature of this is that the animals will also not see you, just like the modded plugin. There's some more work being done on the new wolf AI to have a telegraph before they jump at you and making it dodgeable, and some changes have been made to make it a little bit easier to sneak up on them, especially if they're alone. There's been a change to the way that Junkpiles despawn, similar to the way that a popular plugin works, where if any item is looted or barrel is broken from a junk pile, it will despawn instead of sitting there forever. A new command was added to print the grid that you're in, which could be useful for modding. And speaking of modding, here is a list of all of the cliffs that are finally getting removed. And there's a bunch of prefabs that have been added for map makers and modders. Also, there's been a new Talk 06 cinematic animation that's been added. I feel like I've seen this one before, but maybe it's a longer variation because it goes on for a pretty long time. There was a bunch of fixes to reloading bugs and ghosting, like when you're firing a rocket and then nothing comes out, and issues with reloading if you've got very low FPS. There's a lot of text here, but basically when you're spam clicking after reloading, the glitch that occurred in the past should be fixed. There's also going to be an identifier that shows up on the item icon, like in your hotbar, to tell which type of ammo that you have loaded. There's an automatic CPU Affinity option coming soon for new gen CPUs. And there's been some more changes to make things load in faster when you're flying across the map very quickly. Since the world update, the underwater visibility has been real messed up, and it's undergone a bunch of changes over the past few months, and it looks like it's finally been fixed. Even as you go deeper into the water, it still gets darker, but the clarity does not get reduced. If you're on a server where the creative mode is enabled for unlimited wire, it will now display that you are in creative mode when connecting a node. And there's been a new server variable added to allow for infinite power, and when you go up to a battery, for example, you can see there's a new option on the text on screen that says infinite power is on. The power consumption of Tesla coils has been reduced from 35 to 25, meaning that it will kill players faster as well. Also, there's been a third node added to batteries called Fully Charged, which emits 1 power and allows you to toggle systems to let you know when your battery is full. The car radios have made their way to the main staging branch, and it looks like they're going to be a tier 2 item and cost 120 metal fragments. At the moment, to deploy these, you have to be outside of the vehicle, and during the time of this recording, they weren't actually working, so I can't showcase that, but when you get in, you should be able to select them like how you can select to unlock the door, and they'll work just like a boombox does. There's been a pretty big change to the admin panel on the backside of a vending machine. When you go to administrate, this whole thing looks different. You've got this little thing right here that lets you know if a drone can reach it or not, and above that is the C stats. And this is going to tell you your total sales, your peak sale hour, your unique customers, repeat customers, best customers, your history, and all that good stuff to let you know what works and what doesn't inside vending machines. Ice sculptures have been completely changed since the last time we saw them on the Aux 2 branch, and now it's over on the main staging if you want to go take a look at it. The first thing to note is that if you hold Shift and scroll, you'll be able to change the size of the ball that shows you where you're carving. And if you hold Shift and right click, the ball will turn purple, switching into smoothing mode, allowing for some more fine details to be done. And over in the options menu, you can turn on the hide signs, which will completely remove the block of ice. And I'm not sure how this is going to work at the moment because you can shoot through this when the hide signs is turned on. But when you turn the hide signs off, your bullets will be blocked by the block of ice. So we'll see how this plays out in the future. There's been a huge change to the scrapper at the Junkyard. Now you can pick up minicopters, scrap helicopters, and attack helicopters and recycle all 3 of them here to get scrap. Also keep in mind that if you're inside of these helicopters, you're probably going to die because you take damage if you're on top of here, and if you're inside of the back of a scrap helicopter, it will instantly kill you. And here you can see the attack helicopter gives 500, scrappy gives 300, and the minicopter gives 200 scrap. I'm not sure what this does because I don't use it, but if you use DLSS, it's been upgraded to a new version, and you can find that over in the graphics settings. There's been a small change to the radiation pills, and they'll now sell for 10 scrap instead of 1 at the bandit vendor, and you can see this is 50% value, so it's 5 right now. And this means that if nobody uses this, it will go up quite a lot in value, making it very profitable to get some scrap. And the amount of radiation that it removes has been boosted to 75, and it will give you -5 hydration. There's been a fix to the shipping container colors being reset to random when pasting entities with the new CopyPaste command, and after what feels like an eternity, you can finally rotate a bunch of electrical components. Here you can see between these 2 commits all of the ones that have currently been set up for rotation. This is going to be the cure-all to every electrician's OCD when wiring up their circuits. Now you don't have to make them look super ugly, and it'll be very nice. You can also rotate the water pump and the admin electrical box thing. The disco floors are also rotatable, which makes it easier to wire them up. And that's all I got for you guys today. Make sure you go check out thatprince.co.uk and get a 10% discount off with code DRIZZA. We've been working together for a few months now. They created the trophy for my event, the Crucible Grounds. They've got the auto turret, which you can plug in, and it's got a little laser and spins. They also make a whole bunch of other things like SAM sites, furnaces, explosive ammo, keychains, so make sure you go check them out if you want to get some presents for your friends and family that play Rust before Christmas. Make sure that you order before the 6th of December if you want to get it in time, and you're international. If you live in the UK, you have until December 20th. Make sure you go check that link in the description and use code DRIZZA for 10% off this holiday season. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, leave a dislike if you didn't, and I'll catch you in the next one.